Good evening, everyone. My name is Helen McCutcheon, and I'm the head of the Florence Nightingale School of Nursing and Midwifery here at King's College London. And we're delighted to have you all here at the inaugural HealthWatch Lecture. It's really pleasing to see so many people, particularly on such a miserable evening, but I suppose you're better to be indoors here than out there travelling home. We've got some really very interesting people who are going to speak with you tonight, but I'm not going to do any of the introductions. Instead, I'm going to introduce Nick Ross, who's the President of HealthWatch, and he's going to start off the proceedings. So once again, welcome to King's College London, and I'm sure you're going to have a very enjoyable evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. And let me, where's the microphone? Is the one or the other?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let me add my own thanks. For those who don't know about HealthWatch, HealthWatch is a very small organisation with very big ambitions. And the ambitions, quite simply, are to make medicine evidence-based. For those of you who are medics and know a lot about it, forgive me if I take a little perambulation for those who don't, because the truth is that for almost all of human existence, doctors probably killed far more people than they cured. If you were unfortunate enough to be wealthy, so that you had access to a physician, if from the East would believe that the reason you were wrong was something to do with meridians, and if you were in the West, they think it was something to do with the four humours, which had somehow got out of balance. All of which was a huge advance from what people thought before then, which is that it was your own damn fault if you were ill because God had sent it to you as a punishment. And people could not really distinguish between what real evidence was and what intuitive and anecdotal evidence was. And even the great Hippocrates, who did so much to dissect and learn about anatomy, even he really pushed the idea of the four humours getting out of balance, which I'm afraid did so much damage to so many people for another 2 millennia. And probably until the 18th century, the morbidity rate was not that much different from the Dark Ages, and perhaps not that much different from the age when people lived in caves. It was the extraordinary Renaissance, the intellectual change that came about with the Age of Enlightenment that made such a transforming difference. There have been lots of people, bit by bit, who are taking medicine forward, becoming more scientific. But to me, the extraordinary thing is the term evidence-based medicine is only 20 or 30 years old. When I first became interested in the issue, because we were looking at breast cancer treatment, they just wanted somebody off the telly, and they sort of lumbered me with this, and we spent a week listening to all the experts, the oncologists, the surgeons, and it was just awful. Each of them was telling us, in my opinion, they were all men, all operating on women, some saying they needed to do super radical mastectomies, others saying, no, all you need to do is a little radiotherapy. And we said, where's your evidence? And there was very little. Still today, even though medical schools have improved enormously in this regard, there are still students coming out of medical school who don't know what science is. They still think it's subjects like biology or chemistry. They don't understand it's a methodology. It's one that actually gives us some level of confidence that we've contained as much as we can elements of bias and chance. And there are still a lot of physicians out there who absolutely don't really know what good evidence is from bad. We know that because quite a lot of them are pushing what's called CAM, complementary and alternative medicine, or what Prince Charles and his friends have rebadged as integrative medicine, which seems to be quackery under a different name, where you take the bit of science and you accept it if it works for you, but you reject the science if it doesn't work for you. So HealthWatch, although a small organisation, still has a huge amount to do. Thankfully, an enormous amount has changed in the right direction. We're going to hear from Mike Rawlins from NICE. NICE itself is perhaps the greatest transformation that we've had since the term evidence-based medicine was first introduced. In fact, at risk of getting into private eye's brown nose column, I would say that both our speakers are hugely admiring of both of them. I would have come out on the coldest night to hear either of them, and it's great they're both here. And it's also great, I want to thank our chairman and introducer, Robin Ince. Robin.